So in farming, there are failures, and I'm about to show you one of mine. What's going on, everybody? This is VJ Hunt with the Hunt Family Farm, and I have a special guest today.
What's going on, people?
Go ahead, you can introduce yourself, man.
I am Desmond Scott, owner of Prime Institute in Durham, North Carolina. I'm coming out here today with VJ, and we're gonna do some tours, some chores. The reason why I'm out here, because my wife and I, we're starting our own farm. We just purchased 20 acres, and so we are going to, at our farm, mix between fitness and agriculture. So I'm coming out here to get some work, hands-on experience.
There you go, absolutely. Anytime we can help. Des and I actually played football together. He was a much better football player than me. He's a Duke legend. But if you're in the Durham area, definitely go check out Prime 45. Or Prime 45. Yeah. I don't go to the gym. I need to. Probably by the time you see this, it'll be New Year's. So go ahead and kick your New Year's off by stopping by the gym. Get with Daz. He get you set up on a plan. But today, we have some cleanup stuff, all right? If you notice, it looks kind of raggedy out here. We got tree limbs that are falling. With all of the holiday stuff, you acquire boxes, and more boxes. So today we're gonna burn the boxes. Typically you need a burn permit if you were like in the city limits, but we're in the country and we're on our own land, so we can do that. But good ways to, I guess, recycle and reuse these boxes. They are great to put as a bottom layer of a raised bed. So for those who wanna do some things at home, maybe get into cultivating your own vegetables, they usually break down over a couple of years, and so they serve as a barrier, and they also hold moisture really well. So boxes are great for that. But we're gonna get into getting these over here and cleaning up all this other stuff around. All right, so we got the fire. It's in control. Des, how was it?
It was good, man. I ain't no city boy, so I didn't burn some fire in my day. But you know, good conversation was surrounding this fire and this work, and so that was good for me. You know, to be able to converse with you while we're doing this work is dope for me.
Definitely, man. We got it done. Huge help, man. We were able to get all the little twigs and stuff cleaned up. Something I've been needing to do for a while. It's just so time consuming. So I think the fire is in control. A sheep got out the other day. Always, right? They're always escaping. But part of the reason is because, as you can see, you look on the ground, it's not very much grass in here. So I slacked one day, right? And they didn't get any hay over. They had a little bit of bell. They was nibbling on some stuff, and they ended up getting out. That's one thing about animals. You gotta understand, they're going to find a way to survive. And so they got out. It was my fault. But in the midst of getting out, they ran through a fence and they popped it. And so now we're going to have to go repair this fence, get some heat on it, get it back hot, do all those things that it takes to keep animals safe and keep them in. So that's the next step. That's task 2 of the day. We are figuring out where the sheep escaped, and I think we found a spot right here. So there's, when you start to see like tracks through, you see where the tracks are. So they ended up walking through, and usually, like with sheep, they're herd animals. So if one makes it through, they all gone. We did it off camera. We pulled the wire tight, and we noticed that it was pushed back, so they had been walking through it. Once the wire hits the ground, it has no real electricity in it, and so when electricity is gone, they kind of just walk through it. They don't respect it anymore. And so now that we see the problem, I think we fixed it with that end. We just gotta go, and I'll show you when we get on this end what we did. Okay, so we were able to reconnect the fence. It wasn't too bad. But what we're about to do now is plug the box up. So, Des, you wanna do the honors?
Yeah, let's do it.
So you're gonna grab this yellow one and plug it in right here. And we should hear it popping. Hear the ticks? Yeah. All right, now we're gonna test to see if we're getting electricity. You can hear it, it ain't gonna pop. So here's what you're gonna do. Hold that, we're gonna go in here. All right, so what you wanna do, Des, is you wanna take that and stick that in the ground, that metal probe, stick that in the ground. And now you wanna touch the wire with that. And see, it's reading 4.2, which is great. I mean, well, it's not great, but it's good enough to let them know. All right, we're gonna go testing in a few other spots. So we'll go around testing a few other spots. It's not pretty, but it's effective. Just connected all 3 of the wires with a wire, and it's running along here. If you watch our previous videos on making this, you know how this kind of system is set up. The sheep were walking through this particular fence right here, and when they was walking through, they ended up snapping it. So well, they didn't snap it, it came loose. So we just had to reconnect. It wasn't as big of a job as I once thought it was gonna be. But now we're gonna test it to make sure that it's working. And then when we leave here, we're gonna go. I got a surprise for you guys. We made some additions to the farm, so we're gonna show you those.
Before I test the next one?
You can. So Dez is testing. Dez is over. You probably can't see him. He's all the way over there. He's testing the 4-5 all 3. Great, 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 great. So Dez is testing the fence to make sure that it's still hot. It's actually reading pretty good. So that's what we needed it to be. To keep the sheep in. So when he gets back, we're gonna hop in the trucks and then we're gonna go show you guys some new stuff that we are working on. So I just put a little bit in each one on. I go to the metal thing right there. I usually, yeah, that's good, that's good. And it's a little trough down there. Yeah, and I mean, you can put more in. They just gonna run around. They usually run around and get in where they fit in. They're gonna eat a little bit here, a little there. Man, and you can finish it up right here. Last bit in there. There we go. And that's it. So we out here at I don't know if I showed you guys this, but this is our leafy green, one of our leafy green fields. So we had some cabbage heads that's starting to head up. Thanksgiving came, and what we did is instead of cutting the collar at the root, we just primed all the leaves. And so by priming the leaves, we got Mr. Prime himself, but we primed the leaves so that we could get a winter and a spring crop. So we'll come back, it'll regenerate, it'll grow, and then in the spring we'll be able to prime them again or pick them again. We'll probably end up priming and then cutting them off and then feeding them to the cows. But we have some kale here, cabbage, collards, and salad over there. So this is one of our leafy green patches. I can't claim none of this work. This is all my dad. This is his work. He did this. I told y'all I'm not a green thumb kind of person. So in farming, there are failures. So I'm about to show you my failure. So in farming, there are failures, and I'm about to show you one of mine. All right, so we had this hot tunnel. Last fall, before I got busy, I called myself gonna experiment. And so I planted watermelons, and you see them, right? Oh, look. Yeah, well, I planted them in August, and that's all I have. So these were red. I think these were maybe yellow, and those might have been orange. But these are my failures. This is my try at growing watermelons. Now, granted, I did not do a good job of coming out here. I was busy. I'm a football coach. It was an experiment. So yeah, here's an orange watermelon. Look, I planted the orange.
Yeah, orange, yellow.
Orange and yellow. Yeah, I think this one is probably a yellow one. But this one might be an orange one. Yep, no, that's a yellow one. And then I think this one is probably yellow too. Yep, yellow. So I know what I planted. So yeah, I failed. But it came down to just me being too busy. Shouldn't have never started it, but I had some seeds and I planted them late, and I didn't think that they were gonna do well, and they ended up doing well enough to have some watermelons, but I did not do them. Des, you do watermelons, right?
I do watermelons, yeah. We've done red and yellow. And so we haven't gotten to this yet, which we need to do. And are going to do to be able to supply our gym and community, but we did it out of our raised beds. So we had 3 raised beds, and we did watermelon, fruit, all at the same time. And what we realized was that the vines that grew with the watermelon likes to attach on
to everything.
Yeah, so
they got to be by themselves.
Yeah,
they got to be.
do it separate.
Yeah, I've neglected this tie tunnel. I'm gonna show you what it looks like, what it's supposed to look like. We got 2 more built, so we're gonna come in and get ready for the spring crop. So we're gonna till all of this stuff up, and it'll look much different. We allowed this space to rest before we started planting, so we about to come in and hit it hard in the next couple of months. We're getting all of our seed and stuff down. As you can see, we have drip tape in here, so that's for your irrigation. Everything that needs to be in here is in here. We just have to work it, and we gave it an opportunity to rest this go around, and you'll see us start planting here shortly. All right, so you've seen this one. That was the one we just left out of. We're going into our newest built one. We've already kind of started working this one. Like, you feel how much warmer it is in here? So we've tilled this one up. So the one that we just left, yeah, there's a lot of condensation. So the one that we just left out of, that one will look like this one in maybe a week or so. Des asked a great question. He's like, what's the difference between this and a greenhouse? They're very similar. The thing about these they're built on the ground. A lot of times some greenhouses have like electricity, they have a fan system, so it kind of has the same effect. What this does allows for a longer growing season. You can either start your vegetables or whatever your plants, you can start them earlier and they can go longer because it stays warmer here. It's probably about 20 degrees warmer in here than it is outside. The way these work is this. So when it gets hot in the summertime, you will crank it, right? So you crank it. I got you. Might need to go the other way. We got it the other way, I think. Hold on. But where the thing is? Anyway, these vents let up. Yeah, they let up and the air comes out. Yeah, the cords come down. I don't feel like. So what'll happen is it pulls this plastic up. It will then allow for air to come in. So in the summer months, you can have the vents all the way open and it'll be like a normal summer day, but you still have to irrigate. That's the one thing about it. You have to irrigate because it can't rain. So the key to it is having a water source. We are fortunate enough, we have a well that we had dug out here. And so we got a well and we could just run our drip tapes in. And we use drip irrigation where it just literally waters the plant as opposed to the whole area. So it's a lot more efficient. But we just got this one built, and then we have another one on the other farm. We'll go over and check that one out.